Okay, so good evening. If you're watching the replay, it might be good morning, but thank you for joining us today. So our subject in this coffee break webinar, which is in the UK, is now at 7 o'clock on a Monday evening every other week. Today I'm looking at groups, and now how can you use groups to help you build your connection? So I've started on my own group page, but we're not going to just talk about having your own group. It's how you make those connections, get known, and just really connect and communicate with people who maybe future friends, existing friends, or could even end up being your ideal client. But the objective is not to go out searching for clients in the first instance. So let's move on to what we're going to be looking at today. And I've opened up my screen so that I can demonstrate what I want to show you. So I'm going to divide this into 3 areas. So if you're watching the replay, you'll be able to see this won't be in excess of 30 minutes, maybe a little less actually. And wherever you're watching it, if you have a question, please do ask. And I'll give you some places to find me. Now, obviously, one of them is here in this group. It's the Online Entrepreneur Academy. It's my free group. And we have a lot of business talk in there. And as you can see at the top, it says all the details here. So you can make your own group, and we'll come back to that in a while because there are many different types of group. Now, what I'm saying here doesn't just apply to Facebook. I'm using Facebook, but it applies if you're working on LinkedIn, for example. And nowadays, many business owners, especially if you're connecting business to business, is on LinkedIn. So why are we using groups? So I'm just going to search for random groups. So let me just, and I'll show you where I'm searching just a moment. So let's say entrepreneurs. Okay. Right. So I've just searched. Now, what I did was I went to the Facebook bar and searched entrepreneurs. Let's say I liked hiking, because I know I'm not in any hiking groups. I do like walking the countryside. But let's go for hobbies first. So if your interest is hiking, you would look for, so here we got down, I put in the word hiking. I want to find groups. So if I'm interested in hiking, this is just an example. It's purely a hobby. That's what I'm looking for. So forget business for the moment. So hiking for beginners, hiking in London. Okay, let's just choose one. I'll just take the top one. Hiking for beginners sounds more appropriate for me. So I look at this group now. The reason, obviously, if it's my hobby interest, then I would request to join the group. Now let's have a look down here. Looks like they've got some very interesting things going on. So the whole point of me, if hiking was genuinely my hobby, mine is cycling, as some of you may know, would be, hey, this is a lovely group. I'd like to join them. I really have interest. So if I'm in the UK, I'll be looking to see if they're in the UK. I'd have a look down here. So you sometimes you can't see anything before you join the group, but luckily we can here. It's not too big. That's a good number, 2.8 thousand. If it was 3, I wouldn't bother. If it was like 50, 60,000, that may be too big because I won't be able to get to know people. So I'm looking in this group here. Kilimanjaro, actually, my sons went to Kilimanjaro when they were around about the age of 16. So I could genuinely, I'm a visitor to the group, I can genuinely like that. I can submit a comment. Reminds me of when my sons went there. So that's an absolutely heartfelt, genuine comment. There's nothing businessy about this, of course. That's not the objective. Let's put a little exclamation mark. Okay, right. So obviously, do I live in Hungary? Is my hiking experience? Okay, so I'm not going to comment there now, but let's assume I've joined the group. The objective is that you're finding people who have the same interests and hobbies as you so that you can genuinely and heartfelt connect with them. Why are you doing this? It's interesting for you. It's following your hobby, but also when people get to know you in the group, because you're interacting as a normal human being, talking about your shared interests, they will click on your profile, and it's just like being out, with friends having a coffee, maybe new friends, you talk about what you do. So they will see what you are up to. You will know that perhaps they're an engineer, perhaps they own property, perhaps they work in an office. You'll get to know what they do and vice versa. So join a few groups that follow your interests, and perhaps you're already in groups. So make an effort to go out and shake hands, do a virtual handshake and get to know people. Do not, I repeat, do not mention your work on these pages. It wouldn't be appropriate. So as long as that's clear, then we're good. Now let me go to another. So now I'm going to look for similar interests. So I'll just go over here. Let's say working from home. Now, if you're not sure what to type in here, I always mistype that word, from home, do a Google search and see what phrases come up. Working from home opportunities, I bet that's got thousands in. Okay, I'm in the UK. If I had a product or service that was in the UK, then that might be a good one for me to look at. Remember, this is a different objective. I'm looking for people who understand and work from home. So, and let's just take this and see what happens. I imagine it's going to be thousands and thousands of people. Okay, that's not so bad. That's not got so many people in it. Okay, so it's coming around to my local area. Let's just pick this one for the moment. It's a public group, so that's great. I'm in there straight away, so to speak. And again, I can join the group. So I'm just looking down. Now, 2 objectives. Join the group if you think that that's something for you. And then see what they're doing. Are they just promoting? Are they asking questions? Now here in this group, as I suspected, promotion, no interaction, promotion, no interaction. However, if you think that you could make a difference in this group, you could join and you could start adding value, which is not just, I mean, this is just like a shopping list, isn't it? And I find it actually a shame because people are working so hard, but seen by 27, no one's interacted. So again, probably not going to really help someone working from home because the folks here, what can I say, are really just posting. Look it up here, we see it, don't we? So with all due respect to these very hardworking people, they're sort of they're sharing the products and very similar products, so it's not going to help an awful lot. Let's have a look at the people here. Okay, now this is a public group, so I'm not showing anything on this recording that can't be seen by anyone looking on Facebook. This is why I'm not using the groups that I'm a member of, because I sort of definitely respect the fact that I'm a member of some closed groups and some private groups, and it wouldn't be fair. But this is a public group. It says here public group, so anyone can find it. So the next thing you can do is to have a look down, and you can see the admin first of all, see all. Now, often it will say, oh, here we are, that's what I was looking for, members with things in common. So these are people who have things in common with me. Perhaps we've got a mutual friend. Now, what I can do is I would normally go to their profile, see if they're recently active. You know, they haven't posted for the last 10 years, probably not someone that's where we can be mutual help to each other. And then I would just go add friend, mutual friends. I'm happy with the mutual friends there. So to do this properly, I would actually open up and just take a very quick look. It takes 10 seconds, see what's going on, see that they're currently posting, that they're interactive. See, this person hasn't got their friend button on, so I can't do that immediately there, but go to the groups that you feel, business groups that will be helpful for you. Have a look at what they're posting. I didn't find that the actual posts in this group would help me, but I've got people here that I know I can help, or maybe a service that I would want in the future. So connect with them. Now, Facebook doesn't seem to mind currently, caution there, how many times we add friends this way, because we've got things in common. However, don't suddenly do this. Oh, look, bless, works as a full-time mummy. Don't just suddenly do this. So if you've not done this before, add about 5 or 6 people and then stop. Well, you're requesting people. And now let's just, okay, let's take a Arden University, stay-at-home parent. I'm looking down here. Hampton School. Okay, someone who works with books. So let's open up this. I can see that she's posted recently. Looks a nice post. I actually feel that I could, you know, if she joined our group, I could probably help her out a bit there. So I can message her. I could message there and say, okay, let me just move this over a bit so you can see what I'm doing. Just stretch my screen a moment. Can I do that? Yes, I can. So I could send to her a message, seeing that you're in XYZ group. We live locally, good to connect. Love the picture of your kids, reminds me of when mine were young. Just a genuine heartfelt message. Or I can simply pop in a friend request there and see what happens. Now, should they accept the friend request, then I would absolutely definitely send a personal message straight away. Just really a conversation, introducing myself. Hey, see, we're both live in the same area. How are you finding the weather, the traffic, the Christmas shopping, whatever is, you know, how's your Halloween, how was Diwali, whatever is appropriate. Okay, so that's just look at my list here. So go to groups that have similar business. I'm just moving back here so I can see the. Now let's pick another one. Flexible, they haven't even got their own banner, so I'm not going to look at that. If you had a local business, by the way, if you were, excuse me, electrician, plumber, personal trainer, your local groups would be perfect, because you may well be only doing in-person things, nothing online. Well, obviously difficult if you're a plumber or electrician, and that would be a good place to connect. So I'm just going to look at my working from home opportunities again. Let's another one. Let's be brave and put in network marketing, and hope I don't turn up lots of spammy groups. Okay. Now, the other thing I was going to say is, if you're in any paid groups, now there's some paid groups that have a very small entry fee, maybe £3 or £4 a month, or maybe just a one-off payment. You get a better quality of interaction because of the nature of what they are. They're teaching groups. So here we are. Okay, let's look here. It's about blockchain. Yes, perhaps not. Okay, again, it's another what I frankly would call a spammy group, because it's not inviting interaction. So let's look at women, working mums and dads. This is a women's entrepreneur. This is one that is okay. So this is one that is okay. I actually thought I was a member of that. Yes. Okay, this is a nice group. So this is something I always say, this is a group that is good to join, this type of group, because it's got the best way to get visible is with an introductory post. We're so excited. So next, got it. So this is the type of group you want, where people are actually talking to each other. So they've got a promote yourself thread. Brilliant. I'm not actually sure that they're very effective. They're talking about Instagram. So with this here, with my knowledge of social media, I might be able to put in something. I could put in my Instagram handle as asked, but I might be able to say, oh, did you know that you can get 5 Instagram accounts? You can have a personal account, a business account. Have you got a business account as well as a personal one? Yeah. Never stop promoting. Yeah. So here is an opportunity for me in my line of business, helping people with business, is to say, yes, but. So I would go in here and say, I totally agree, but let's not misunderstand each other. Everything's not about promoting. It's the ratio is 80-20. So what I'm trying to show here is that I'm adding value to the conversation. I'm not going to go against the rules. I'm not going to say something that would offend the owners of the group, but I'm going to have a genuine conversation here. And, you know, you can see that people have interacted here. So I might go and look and see what Cheryl says. If I've got a genuine comment, if she's a friend of mine, then I can pop her a message and say, agree, disagree, great thought you had there in the group, etc. So what I'm saying is that you're having a normal conversation. That is the important thing. So just to recap, in terms of finding groups, look at the ones. I'll just go back to my own profile so I'm not hanging around in someone else's group that perhaps everybody's watching is not a member of, and that was a good group, so I highly recommend that you go and find it. Yeah, so the reason the idea is to find groups that you of your hobbies and your interests, just 2 or 3, maybe just 1 even. Join there, interact normally as you would do, talking about whatever your hobby is with a person face to face. Find groups that are related to your business area. So if you're a home business owner, the sort of groups I've just shown you now. If you work locally as an electrician, plumber, trainer, coach, then you might be looking at local groups, people talking about events. Pop in there. I'm in the Sussex area. Brighton's got lots of groups about events going on, about, you know, there's a million things going on. There's the Lewis fireworks soon. Could pop in the group and interact there with people, you know, how you're getting over to see the fireworks. Are there any train journeys, train lines working? You know, this sort of normal conversation you have. Any tips for? Have a normal conversation, get known as a local person. You're like, if you imagine you're on your block, you know, in your area, in your street, and you're asking authentic questions, people will start to connect. It's a long-term plan, and your only objective is to be genuinely you. People will get to know you, and then they will see your post pop up. And when you say, hey, just created my latest design, just got the cushion covers out, if anybody wants an extra special Christmas present for their family, drop me a message. They will see that sort of thing. Obviously, I've imagined a business there, but I think you get what I'm saying. Excuse me, I beg your pardon. Now, of course, the caveat to this is it only works if you've got a clear profile. So make sure, I've just changed this recently, I'll probably change it again, because we're always tweaking. But if someone comes to my page, my profile, I hope they understand what I do, or at least have a clue. So a little bit of an aside here, but very useful indeed. So whatever your business, whether you've got hand produced craft of objects, whether you write a book, whether you have candles, healthcare products, make sure that your banner reflects that. Go and look around and see what other people's banners are. So that's another lesson in itself, and something I do teach on my course. So if you join me on my one-to-one sessions for my business clients, we'll go through this in detail. For the moment, let me just give you a tip. Look, click here. Now, we all know this is not interactive, but watch the magic. So I've got to a few tools. They've changed. It's changed now. If I click this, it should still work. Because, okay, from my view, I've got my own face in the way here. But when someone clicks on it, you've got all this space here to put your connections, your links. So it can work a bit like a link tree. Now, one could argue that I've got too much here. I'm testing. So you could simply have, here's a link to my website, see you over there, book a complimentary call with me, say you're a hairstylist, free consultation at our studio if you say the XYZ magic word or whatever. But you get the point here. When people click on the banner, and people do, they've got information here. Never leave this space free. Okay, so let me just get out of that. If you saw how many tabs I have open, you would think, what on earth is going on here? Okay, so you've joined groups, you're interacting, and my point here is you've got to, when people come and find you and send you a friend request, you have to make sure that it's clear what you do. Now, you're not going to, you know, if you joined a hobby group, you're not going to be talking about what you do first off, and maybe you'll never talk to some people about what you do. It's irrelevant. But when they click on your profile, when they see your story, they see your reels, whatever you're doing, they will know. So when someone says, oh my goodness, I need an electrician. Oh, right, in that cycling group, Bob's an electrician. Trisha's actually just finished her training, and she specializes in coming to pensioners' homes. People will know what you do. It will get around, and you may never know where it starts off, but it will indeed. So we've talked about groups that are similar to your business, groups that you're interested in. This is all online at the moment. The other thing, of course, is to have your own group. Now, I can't stress how useful this is. Now, if you're a network marketer, and say you're in health products, healthcare, you don't want to have a group that is just promoting your products. What you want to have is a group that will help people be healthier. Now, obviously in healthcare, you don't want to be giving anything that's borders on medical advice. But for example, if you sell protein shakes, you might be talking about greens that are in season, for example, or the advantage of growing your own tomatoes on your windowsill, or adding certain herbs to your shake. Here's the shake I made this morning. So these are the sort of things you can put in your group. Who would like some advice about the best way to start your day, etc., etc. So that's just an example of healthcare. If you're a personal trainer and you do more offline work, you can still have a group and perhaps pop in a few videos, get people to know what you're doing. Say, you know, start your day off. You haven't got time to come to the gym, or you're with one of my personal. You could have a group actually for your own clients. 8-minute exercises to do if you can't get to the gym today, etc. So have the group, as our group is, filled with information, but also let people know what you do. Like I've said just now here in this short webinar, I have an opportunity for people to join me for one-to-one coaching, get everything like this sorted, up and running, and you're off. So let people know what you do, but it's not what you say every day. I hope that's clear in that group. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, and I'm going to stop the share for now, is what is often overlooked is face-to-face groups. Now, we all got during the last couple of years, most of us got used to working online. And I think some of us have forgotten, and I see that there is an opportunity to network offline. Now, I'm not saying take your business to every corner of your life. That's absolutely not appropriate. But let's first just touch the online networking. So if you're in the UK, you can, for example, join the Federation of Small Business Owners networking groups. Now, the FSB for the UK, I'd highly recommend because they have so much for the small business owners. But I'm not here to tell you about the FSB today. If you want to know more, buzz me a message and I'll put you in touch with people who can introduce you to them. But they have regular meetings online and offline. And if you're not a member, you can still join. And they're fellow business owners share ideas, share information, and you get to know people. So it's the same principle as a group. If you need someone with X, Y, Z, got to find a new phrase, haven't I? Service, then you think, oh yes, I met Cynthia in that group and she helps people put projects together. She's a project manager. Yeah. Mark, you were talking about starting a new business. You should get in touch with Cynthia. It's just normal connections and it's reciprocity, you know, like paying it forward. Okay. Now, also there's meetups. Meetups have all sorts of different hobby groups. You've got digital, you've got knitting, you've got painting, you've got cycling, the whole range. So you can look at the meetup groups. Some are online, some are offline. They might be one-off lectures, they might be regular meetings, etc. And again, that's like the hobby interest groups that we saw online. Go and talk to someone face to face. They will say, hey, nice to meet you, what do you do? That's always what we ask first of all, isn't it? I'm a teacher, I'm an electrician, I work part-time, I work down at the local corner shop. People tell us what they do. So you can say, I'm a digital marketer, I've got a platform where I sell cars that I design, etc. Okay, other places to network and genuinely interact with people, because if you are working from home, it can be tricky. So you might have groups around your own faith, spiritual groups. So you go to church and mosques, temples. All of these village groups have communities. So whatever's appropriate for you, go and find them. And you may already be a member and thought, I never thought to stay for coffee afterwards. I'm going to stay for coffee and have a chat with people. Just be yourself. In the UK, a lot of libraries have different interest groups or have events. Check those out. You might even be able to be a speaker at one. I'm on a list to be a speaker. I was going to speak at our local library. What was it like? I think it was 3 years ago, and obviously that got put off. But yeah, go along as a speaker, perhaps, if you feel confident to do that, and you've obviously got a lot to offer, or go along and see what's happening there. So in the UK, the easiest ones would be things like library and church groups, for example. And then you have the nurseries, the parents groups, etc., etc. So there are a lot of places to meet people. So what I'm trying to encourage you today is think groups, think community, and think where you can genuinely meet people. And then you can move the conversation on, because people, you know, we will ask each other what we do. And then you can say, oh, you asked me about what I design, make. Here's my business card, or would you like to connect on LinkedIn? If you ever need an electrician, remember me. I'm Susan, the friendly electrician. Obviously I'm not, but you get the idea of what I'm saying. So Be yourself, be normal, but look for opportunities to connect. And if you just went on to one online meeting a week, for example, maybe one face-to-face meeting a month, depending on your commitments, your times, it might even be with other members of the family, and start really thinking, hey, let's connect. Oh, are you in my neighborhood? Are you just around the corner? Can we swap phone numbers if appropriate? Would you mind if I give you my business card so that you can call me? Give them the power. Give me a call. Do you know I always lose business cards? You might just want to pop the number down in your phone so you don't have to keep hold of this bit of paper, etc. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. Please do be proactive. Go out there, find your communities, be authentic. Make sure when people come to check out your LinkedIn, your Facebook profiles, whatever you use, Instagram, they clearly understand what you do, and be normal, be friendly. Don't be wacky and scary and say, hey, glad I've just met you 30 seconds ago. Would you like my product? Doesn't work. Never will do. They will be running for the hills, won't they? We've all unfortunately experienced that. So don't do it. Don't let anybody persuade you that you should do it. Do not make that 100 friends list. Just interact normally. Okay, I hope this has been helpful. If you've been watching the recording, please do check where this is posted. I will put the references below so you can see the things that I've talked about. If you would like to join me on a consultation call, 15 minutes, let's talk to each other, see if we can work together, where I can help you, advise you on some next steps. Very happy to do that. So make sure that you book that call, totally complimentary. You can let's have a conversation. That's what I want to say. If you're not already in my Facebook group and you're not watching this in the Facebook group, again, details below if you're watching this on YouTube or on another channel. Thank you so much for your time. Enjoy your evening if you're watching live. If you are watching the replay, still ask the questions, let me know. Here to help. Thank you so much. Have an awesome time.